Hi, my name is Beaty, and thank you for taking a moment to hear about my journey through the Project Dragonfly program. When I started this master's, I knew I cared deeply about local conservation, but I didn't yet know how to use my voice or where I fit into the bigger picture. Everything changed when I focused my work on the Mill Creek watershed, a place that has shaped both my professional life and my identity as a conservationist. Mill Creek has a long history of industrial pollution and combined sewer overflows, eventually being identified as one of the most endangered urban waterways in the country. But what I've learned through my work at the Metropolitan Sewer District of Greater Cincinnati and throughout this program is that the Mill Creek is also a story of resilience. My master's projects allowed me to understand that resilience from every angle: ecological, social, and infrastructural. My first projects explored how combined sewer overflows impact biodiversity. Through field sampling, species identification, and water quality research, I came to understand how human infrastructure directly shapes ecological communities. These studies didn't just teach me statistics or sampling design. They taught me how to interpret patterns that matter for the future of our watershed. As I moved deeper into the program, I became increasingly interested in how people influence conservation outcomes. I began examining public awareness of invasive species like Amur honeysuckle and tree of heaven, and how different forms of communication, such as infographics, social media, and scientific articles, can motivate people to act. That shift opened my eyes to the social side of conservation. What people know, how they learn, and what inspires them to care. This led to one of the most meaningful parts of my master plan: community engagement. I created outreach tools, collaborated with local organizations, and even received an invitation to present my findings to a multi-jurisdictional watershed coalition. That moment showed me that my voice, something I wasn't always confident about, could influence real conversations about our shared environment. My later projects tied everything together by analyzing long-term water quality data from Mill Creek. Seeing the turbidity drop, biodiversity increase, and restoration projects take hold made it clear that progress is happening, but also that community involvement and continued education are still essential. Throughout this journey, I've grown not just as a researcher, but as a leader, communicator, and collaborator. I've learned how to translate complex ecological issues into messages that people can understand and act on. And I've found a balance between science and storytelling that I didn't know I had at the beginning of this program. Looking forward, I plan to continue expanding citizen science efforts, supporting invasive species education, and partnering with local agencies to strengthen water quality monitoring throughout our region. My hope is to use what I've learned to empower communities to connect with the waterways that run through their neighborhoods, because healthy streams depend on engaged people. Thank you for joining me on this journey, for being a part of the growing story of restoration along Mill Creek. Thank you.